What is something you spend a ton of money on that the vast majority of people never would? I think I'm in the top 1% of chickpea consumers. Art supplies. More than half of it remains unused. I just like looking at them. I buy notebooks and journals for similar reasons. Not a ton of money compared to art supplies, though. Effects pedals. I took some to a friend's house a few weeks ago for a stoner noise jam and he said, "What is that? About $2,000 in pedals." I was about to push back as it seemed absurd. Then I realized he was right. Stoner noise jam right on. Fencing and fencing accessories. Not the barbed wire type, but the stabbing people with long pointy metal sticks kind. Look at Mr. Fancipants over here with his Leon Paul gear. I usually just fence with a rusty rebar and a quadruple layer t-shirt. Chicken feed. Those little buggers are just stomachs covered in feathers. I was going through £200 a month for a while, even though they free range and eat everything they can find. I like to collect fossils and pretty minerals that I spend way too much on, but it's my hobby and I love it. Dungeons and Dragons dice. Dear God. Our disappointment is the bane of my existence. So many shiny math rocks. I want them all. A mixed reef aquarium for my living room. The amount of money you can potentially spend in the hobby is ludicrous, but there is something captivating about watching all the interactions in a marine ecosystem as it grows. Many of the best looking corals and fish can also be grown sustainably by aquaculture suppliers now, which I think is important if you want to be a responsible pet owner. The other big draw for me is all the gear and tech which is available to tinker with. From Protion skimmers to pumps, power heads, refugiums, reactors, and dosing equipment. You could spend thousands if you wanted, and that's nothing compared to the cost of some specialty fish or corals with really radiant colors. I hear you. You should come share in our EF tank. I would love to see your tank. I'm a few years in and still feel like I suck at this. I thought I had finally figured out grass algae and cyano last year, but now it's back with a vengeance. To top it off, I'm into guitars and cars. I really need a better job or less expensive hobbies. Watches. Too many watches to wear. I just really like them. Took me ages to find a watch geek in this thread. 2 courses of Accutane for severe acne. Gave me my life back. Accutane single-handedly gave me my confidence back. I never even had it that bad, but the blemishes just destroyed my personal image. 100% worth every penny spent on it and the copious amounts of moisturizers and chapstick. Seltzer water. It substantially cut down on my alcohol intake and I never drink soda anymore. But to anyone who had never been to my house, you'd think I was stocking up for the end of the world or looking into becoming a seltzer distributor. Warhammer models, paints, brushes, hobby accessories. I play both 40k and Age of Sigmar. I've painted 3 large armies in 40k, sold one to a friend, and I'm working on my first Age of Sigmar army. There's probably a couple $100 in paints alone in a 12x8 or so plastic shoebox I keep them in. They call it plastic crack for a reason. Knives. Not like I buy a lot of knives. I spend a lot of a few. This is also my poison. I've had a few Shiragorovs, always wanted that elusive seashell hearty, and currently have 2 different Todbeg bodegas, one titanium with marble carbon fiber inserts and one carbon fiber body with silver twill inserts. Everyone guesses they go for $200 EA and half the time I just say close to avoid the inevitable conversation that it's a waste of money. Asian ball jointed dolls. Never get into this hobby. Drugs are cheaper and easier to explain. I just googled this, and goddamn some of those are gorgeous, and then others will haunt my nightmares. A very polarizing hobby, it seems. Fountain pens. I haven't sunk much into it yet because poor, but I am planning to spend a lot in the near future. I'm about to drop $1,000 to repair my flute. Hey fellow flutist, I dropped a few grand on a new head joint earlier this year. Totally worth it. Yarn and knitting needles. Private hand balancing lessons. Frustrating as heck. Expensive. The practice takes years to gain any skill in, and nobody said I had talent. Still, $170 a week if neither of my coaches has to cancel. The Sims franchise. $700 plus down the drain for pixels who say DARPA double dips. The Sims series needs a good competitor because the prices have been going way out of hand ever since 2 came out. Massages. I get terrible tension headaches and medication never did the trick. Massages keep it in check. Yes, I recently started getting all my massages as 90-minute sessions. 2. My massage therapist actually lives down the street from me 2 blocks. She works out of her home, so I am super spoiled. Getting regular massages has helped a ton with my migraines and tension headaches. Houseplants. I have over 100. Absolute addiction. I am into hoyas and have gone as far as to order from overseas. The prices in the US are crazy. I've seen plants sell for thousands on eBay. My family and friends think I have a problem. I spent about $5,000 turning my garage into a free weight gym. The UPS guy loved me for about 4 months straight. I've wondered for some time whether it's a bad idea to order 40-pound boxes of cat litter from Amazon because of pee off the delivery guy. Now I see that I've actually been going easy on him. Magic: The Gathering. Fermentation equipment. I love fermenting stuff. I made a fermented cranberry soda for this Thanksgiving. I spent $800 on a bow, like a bow and arrow, for target shooting. I told my friends and they all told me I was nuts. I probably am. Wait until you spend over $1,000 on a bare bow and then realize you need sights and a rest and a stabilizer and this and that and the other thing you can't live without. That's when you really start questioning your sanity. But I do love that thwack sound. Vintage style clothing and lingerie. So beautiful yet so expensive. I work at a vintage clothing store and we have a 10 featuring high pile of clothes including lingerie that you can dig through. It's mostly $5 a piece. My closet is overflowing, haha. Antique swords. My M1855 French Superior Officer's Sabre arrived today. It is the third French 1845/55 sabre I have added to my collection. Steel does not last without effort and too many beautiful historic pieces rust away. I preserve what I can and hope to someday get a 3D scanner to scan my collection and preserve them forever. Ungrateful people. I'm also a parent of small children. Board games. I've got a collection of over 230 plus about 160 expansions for those. Granted the hobby is growing but I'd wager the majority of people haven't experienced much past Cards Against Humanity. I texted my friend Neighbor DM if I could borrow some games for Thanksgiving and he sent me his Board Game Geek list of 505 games. His board game room is a sight to behold. Chicken shawarma. Can't get enough of that dang white sauce. Blueberry Nutri-Grain bars. I'm always buying that crap, man. I'm addicted to them. Those things have a very unique flavor. I haven't had one in decades, but reading your post had that memory come rushing back. I didn't know they still made them. I might have to pick up a box. Insulin. If you're close to the border, come to Canada. It's a bit cheaper here. Guitars. Guitar pedals. My man. At some point you can look at all your guitars and think maybe that's enough, but there's no such thing as enough pedals. I pay $22,000 a year in property taxes to live in a normal size house. Frick Long Island. Malort. I mostly buy it to make other people take shots of it, because I know it hurts newcomers and I enjoy that like a true chicagon. A few years back I moved in with my best friend, who happened to be from Chicago. I saw the Malort on her counter and I asked her what it was. She said it'll get you fricked up, but it tastes like ball sweat with a hint of grapefruit. She was right. Point shoes and dance classes. Cycling. Same. Bikes in particular. I don't know off the top of my head how many we own. The best comments are I bet it was over $1,000. I usually respond with a yes while thinking in my head that's about what I paid for the front wheel. Skooma. Can't get enough of that sweet moon sugar. A fellow Argonian, you truly have class. Cheese or mayo. I'm a cheesemonger who is addicted to my own supply. Mechanical keyboards. My daughter's cheerleading team. It is so freaking expensive, but she really loves it, and it's done tons for her self-confidence and time management skills. Plus, I never hid from her the struggles to find the money. I donate my plasma to help pay for the travel expenses, so she really appreciates being able to be on the team. This is her last year and I'm surprised to find I'm actually a little sad. I coached for 2 years and we didn't even compete, and holy frick, our clothing alone was like $600 plus. I covered the costs of a girl who couldn't afford it and tried to keep it a secret, but ended up with a mom drunk texting me about letting some little girl get a uniform without paying her fees. That's the year I quit. Cheer is freaking wild. You go for supporting your daughter. I buy a lot of books. I have huge collection now that most people find ridiculous. Electrolysis. I want my facial hair gone forever. The $1000 I spent on laser for my back is some of the best money I've ever spent. Well, not anymore, but bath products. I would spend at least $500 per month on bath bombs and bubble bars, etc. Horses. FML. Goats. You have been visited by the romantic doggo. Comment love is magic so you never fall in the friend zone. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.